illustrious world of horology, where timepieces transform into veritable treasures. Get ready to be captivated as we delve into the stories behind the most expensive watches ever auctioned off by the industry's leading giants, Sotheby's, Christie's, and Phillips. Brace yourselves for a revelation of opulence and craftsmanship that has collectively surpassed a staggering $1 billion in the past 3 years alone. From dazzling diamonds to intricate complications, these auctions have been the stage for some of the most jaw-dropping sales in watch history. So, fasten your seatbelts, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell and join us as we unravel the allure and extravagance that only the top auction houses can bring to the world of horological indulgence. Let the countdown to luxury begin.
Our first watch, and number 23 on the list, is the Breguet Paris, number 2667, Precision 4 pocket watch, which sold for $4.68 million at Christie's auction back in 2012. A very rare pocket watch, created about 1814 by Abraham Louis Breguet, the renowned creator of the Tourbillon escapement, and one of the most significant watchmakers in history, is the oldest item among the top 22 most costly timepieces ever sold at auction. A distinct, identifying number is inscribed on the yellow gold case. A minute track, 2 subdials with Arabic and Roman numerals, one with blue hands and the other with yellow gold hands, one for local time and one for mean time, and a small offset subdial for the seconds are all featured on the engine-turned dial. A remarkable accomplishment of watchmaking at the time, the gilded brass movement inside the 63.7mm case is actually composed of 2 independent movements, each with its own barrel, as well as parachute suspension and blued Breguet free-sprung balance springs.
At number 22, we have a collaboration between Francis Ford Coppola and watchmaker F.P. Journe. The FFC Blue fetched $4.93 million at Christie's in 2021. In order to create this piece unique, Francois-Paul Journe collaborated with the renowned Godfather director Francis Ford Coppola. It was the main attraction at the 2021 Only Watch auction, and went on to become the best-selling F.P. Journe watch in the brand's 25-year history. The big blue glove, on the tantalum-encased FFC Blue's distinctive dial, is the focal point of the device. Its fingers are smartly positioned to display the hour, and a pointer at the glove's fingertip displays the minute on a minute track that rotates continuously. Every finger is closed in a fist at 1 o'clock, with the exception of the index finger, which is extended. Then, at 2 o'clock, the index finger and middle finger are both pointing, and so on, until 5 o'clock, when all 5 digits are visible. The following cycle will start at 6 o'clock, with a single thumb and alternating combinations of thumb and fingers. For one lucky bidder, this one-of-a-kind piece was, quite simply, an offer they couldn't refuse. Coming in at number 21, is the Patek Philippe stainless steel, reference 130, which drew a winning bid of $4.98 million at Phillips auction in 2015. This is a highly valuable, single-button, chronograph watch, made of stainless steel, with vertical registers, a sector dial, and a pulsometer scale. Made in 1927, and dubbed the Doctor's Chronograph, it operates with only one button. 2 of Patek Philippe's single-button chronographs were finished in stainless steel, despite the brand typically fitting its timepieces in gold casings. One of these watches is housed in Geneva's Patek Philippe Museum. Next up, in the 20th spot, is the Patek Philippe white gold Calibre 89 pocket watch, which sold for an astounding $5.003 million at Antiquarium in 2004. 5 years later, the yellow gold version of the same watch sold for $5.04 million at the same auction house, putting it in the number 19 spot on this list. At number 18, we have the Emperor Bao Dai Rolex, reference 6062, which went for $5.06 million in 2014 at Phillips auction. This 36mm yellow gold, classically attractive model was the only vintage Rolex of its kind to include a triple calendar on its dial. It was also one of the most expensive Rolex watches ever to be sold at auction. Its most well-known owner, Emperor Bao Dai, was the 13th and final Vietnamese emperor of the New Nguyen dynasty, who ruled from 1802 to 1945. This is how the name of the watch came to be. He purchased the watch in Geneva in 1954, just before he was overthrown, while he was there for the international conference that would lead to Vietnam's partition. This was once the most expensive Rolex in the world, until that record was smashed by another Rolex on our list. If you can guess which one, please leave a comment below, and we will pin the first correct answer. Also, please take a second to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you don't miss out on the next upload. Our number 17 entry is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept Black Panther Flying Tourbillon. Reference 26620IO, which sold at private auction for $5.2 million in 2021. Anticipating the significant 50th anniversary of its iconic Royal Oak collection, AP, and the massive entertainment company Marvel partnered to create a line of upscale timepieces, the first of which was this exceptional white gold piece. An additional 250 titanium pieces were produced. The massive sculptural Royal Oak concept case has a hand-painted 3D representation of Black Panther, also known as Prince T'Challa, the monarch of the mythical African nation of Wakanda, positioned above the flying tourbillon. Instead of an auction house, comedian Kevin Hart arranged a 2021 celebrity event where prominent athletes and vociferous AP ambassadors, like LeBron James and Serena Williams, were present to purchase the sculpture. And at number 16, we find the Philippe Dufour Grande Petite Sonnerie No. 1, which garnered no less than $5.21 million at Philippe's auction in 2021. The very first sonnerie wristwatch ever made was made by Swiss watchmaker Philippe Dufour, who is considered independent watchmaking royalty. His line of watches is well known for commanding very high prices at auction. The Grande Petite Sonnerie No. 1 wristwatch, in a yellow gold case, is no exception. This is the most costly watch ever sold by an independent maker. Designed in 1992, this exquisitely finished watch is a marvel of miniaturization. It has an intricate chiming mechanism that strikes the hours and quarter hours on its own. Here is what 12:45 sounds like. You can adjust the striking mechanism by sliding levers on the side of the 41mm case. With its little seconds sub-dial and Roman numerals, the Grand Fou enameled dial exudes traditional elegance. Number 15. If earlier you guessed that Paul Newman's Daytona was the Rolex title smasher, you are correct. This big red Daytona, reference 6263, sold for $5,475,000 in 2020 at Racing Pulse, a New York auction by Phillips. A few years following the historic sale of Paul Newman's reference 6239 Daytona, the actor/racing driver's daughter, Clea Newman Soderland, presented another watch that Newman owned to an auction. The red script Daytona, over the sub-dial at 6 o'clock, gave rise to the moniker, Big Red Daytona, which Joanne Woodward bought in 1983, and her husband wore until his death in 2008. Newman was reported to have regularly left the screw-down chronograph pushers on the stainless steel case, completely unscrewed, in order to quickly use the stopwatch to time racing laps. The caseback was inscribed, lovingly, with the words, "Drive slowly, Joanne." Although this would eclipse the Bao Dai watch as the most expensive Rolex, the brand would go on to later set 2 more records at auction. If you can guess who owned those watches, leave a comment below. We will reveal it later in our countdown. Arriving at number 14 is the Patek Philippe World Timer Guilloche, reference 25231. This very rare timepiece sold for $5.53 million at Phillips auction in 2020. Dating back to 1953, this is one of only 4 of these 2 Crown World Timers ever made with a guilloche dial and a rose gold case. 2 of the other watches' whereabouts is unknown, and the other is in Patek Philippe's museum in Geneva, Switzerland. In the number 13 spot today is another Patek Philippe. This time round it is the gold chronograph, reference 1527, which sold for $5.7 million at Christie's back in 2010. This incredibly rare perpetual calendar chronograph, with a yellow gold tonneau case, is still ranked in the top 15, selling for more than twice its pre-auction estimate. Applied Arabic numerals, a tachymeter scale, and 3 subdials for the chronograph minutes, running seconds, moon phases and date are all visible on its gorgeous matte silver dial. The much-coveted Geneva seal, which attests to both its exceptional chronometric performance and its fine finishing, is imprinted proudly on its movement. At number 12 today, we have the Daytona Unicorn reference 6265, sold at Phillips auction in 2018 for the sum of $5.7 million. Climbing above the previously mentioned Daytona, owned by Paul Newman, as the most costly Rolex ever sold in auction, this white gold Cosmograph Daytona model is the only one of its kind known to exist, earning it the playful name, Unicorn. Constructed approximately in the 1970s, the watch's bark pattern white gold bracelet adds to its significance and collectability. Since Rolex was only known to use steel and yellow gold for the Daytona in the era this watch came out of, the discovery of a white gold model was sure to cause a stir in the collector's market, and this watch did not let anyone down. In 2017, with 17 jewels, the manually wound Calibre 727 is housed inside a 37mm solid white gold oyster casing.
At number 11, we find yet another Patek Philippe. This titanium reference 5208T010 was sold for $6.22 million at Christie's back
in 2017.
As the sole model of the reference 5208 triple complication, with a titanium case, this unique watch holds the record for the second highest price collected at the biennial Seoul Watch Charitable Auction. This fine timepiece features 3 complications, which include an instantaneous perpetual calendar, a mono-pusher chronograph, and a minute repeater. In addition, Patek went above and beyond the call for this piece's movement adornment, giving the platinum rotor a guilloche treatment, and the bridges a black rhodium polish. Made specifically for this auction, the money raised went to a charity supporting muscular dystrophy research.
Things will move a little faster, here in the top 10, starting with, you guessed it, Patek Philippe, Nautilus reference 5711, 1A018, Tiffany & Company. When Patek Philippe revealed that it was discontinuing its wildly popular Nautilus, model 5711, watch enthusiasts went into a frenzy, making the remaining instances of the watch even more difficult to purchase. Unexpectedly though, Patek offered the Nautilus a remarkable send-off in late 2021 by creating a small batch of variants that would only be sold through Tiffany & Company, their longtime US retail partner. They would feature a striking Tiffany blue dial and would be marked with a special 170th anniversary inscription on the case back. One piece, out of the 170 that were immediately purchased by Patek's most ardent, well-connected, and wealthy patrons, went up for auction in December 2021, and was purchased by veteran Patek collector, Zach Liu for $6.5 million. Other celebrities who were privileged enough to acquire this watch include LeBron James, Jay-Z, James Harden, Ed Sheeran, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, and the Prince of Qatar. The Nature Conservancy received all the proceeds from the auction at Phillips' New York headquarters. Number 9, Patek Philippe, stainless steel reference 5016A010, which was sold for a colossal $7.259 million at Phillips Geneva in 2015. This steel-cased Patek Philippe combines 3 elite horological complications, a minute repeater, a tourbillon, and a perpetual calendar with moon phase. Driven by a 506-part manually wound movement, the watch also features a retrograde date hand that flies back to the beginning of the next month after every 28, 29, 30, or 31 days. Mounted on a dark blue alligator strap, this watch is also desirable for its understated size. It is just under 37mm in diameter, despite its ultra-complex inner mechanism. At number 8, a very special Patek Philippe. This is the Gobi Milano Pink, reference 2499, second series, bought for $7.68 million at Sotheby's auction in Hong Kong. with a dial signed by the retailer, Gobi Milano. This, pink gold, perpetual calendar chronograph, with moon phases, manufactured in 1957, is possibly unique, and very important. For watch enthusiasts, a Patek Philippe Reference 2499 is the holy grail. It embodies all the qualities that draw the watch buyer in: remarkable technical intricacy, remarkable visual allure, and above all, a very high degree of rarity. Only 349 Reference 2499 pieces were produced between 1950 and 1985, or an average of just 9 pieces annually. This line saw 4 significant evolutions over its brief 35-year production run, with the casing, dial details, and production era defining each series. The second series is the most sought after, as there are now only 9 known examples, making them incredibly rare at auction. This is the only one in existence known to be double-signed, bearing the famed Milan retailer Gobi's mark, in addition to Patek Philippe's. Established in 1842, Gobi Milano has been in the luxury watch business for more than 6 generations, and is currently Italy's market leader. Passionate about timepieces, they were given the title of Royal Watchmaker by the Grand Duke of Modena in 1852, only 10 years after the company was founded. At number 7, more from the horological powerhouse, Patek Philippe. This is the 2-crown world time reference 2523 Eurasia, which sold for $7.682 million at Philippe's auction in 2021. When it sold in Geneva, this watch broke the record for the highest price ever paid for a watch with a Hoya Universal World Time feature. It also became the most popular watch ever produced with a yellow gold frame. This reference, commonly referred to as the Silk Road, is remarkable due to its Eurasia-themed cloisonné enameled dial. Coming in at number 6 on the list, we have another Patek Philippe Hoya Universal. The Gobi Milan Reference 2523 sold at Christie's auction in 2019 for $8.967 million. This incredibly rare Patek, which dates back to 1953, and was only produced in 7 pieces, was put up for auction at Christie's, in Hong Kong, in 2019. With a blue enamel dial and rose gold case, this watch features a world time function invented by the renowned watchmaker, Louis Cottier. It is the only Reference 2523 known to have the signatures of the esteemed Milan shop Gobi, as well as that of Patek Philippe. Its 2-tone, 24-hour ring, separated into grey for night and white for day, is encircled by an outer ring, made of silver, that is the engraved and enameled names of 40 cities throughout the world. Rounding out the top 5 of our countdown is the Patek Philippe Prince Mohammed Tawfiq A2 Sawn Reference 1518, which went for $9.57 million at Sotheby's back in 2021. This 35mm, rose gold-cased, Patek Philippe watch, which has a perpetual calendar and chronograph function, as well as an impressive pedigree, belonged to Prince Tawfiq of Egypt. The watch's 1951 owner was descended directly from Muhammad Ali, the man who established modern-day Egypt. The watch was reportedly one of just 340 that Patek Philippe produced and distributed in 1941. There are just 14 known examples of this variation, which is especially unusual due to its copper pink dial. Following the prince's passing in April of 2021, his heirs submitted it to Sotheby's, where it was auctioned off in December of that year in New York for a price of almost $10 million. At number 4, we bring you the Patek Philippe stainless steel Reference 1518, which fetched $11.13 million at Philippe's auction in 2016. When this Patek Philippe perpetual calendar chronograph sold for 9.6 million Swiss francs at a Philippe's auction in Geneva in 2016, it very briefly held the record for the most expensive watch ever sold at auction. This 1941 reference is notable for a few reasons. It is the first wristwatch to have a perpetual calendar and chronograph, and it is one of only 4 stainless steel models produced. During World War II, complex watches of any kind were extremely rare, as most steel was allocated for the war effort. A highly customized Valjoux caliber with superb Patek finishing is housed inside the 35mm casing. Diving into our top 3, we find the other Paul Newman, Rolex Daytona, reference 6239, which sold at Philippe's auction in 2017 for $17.75 million. On October 26 of that year, the watch, formerly owned by legendary actor and motorsports enthusiast Paul Newman, was sold, making it the second most expensive wristwatch and the third most expensive watch ever sold at auction. These watches, known collectively as Paul Newman Daytonas, are among the most valuable watches available on the secondary market. It was therefore not surprising that the one genuinely owned by Paul Newman caused such a stir when it was put up for auction in New York back in 2017. Newman's wife and actress Joanne Woodward gave her husband the 37mm diameter stainless steel chronograph with a telltale off-white dial, black subdials, and minute track, and an engraved tachymeter scale bezel. The case back of this chronograph was also engraved, this time with the loving warning, "Drive carefully, me," a reference to the start of Newman's racing career around that time. The watch was purchased in 1968 and had been in the Newman family for almost 50 years when it was put up for sale. At $17.75 million, it is still the priciest Rolex watch ever sold. Number 2, in our opinion, is the most amazing timepiece ever built. It is the Patek Philippe, Henry Graves, Super Complication, reference 198385, which sold for an astounding $24 million. In 2014 at Sotheby's in Geneva, Switzerland. According to folklore, Henry Graves Jr., a New York banker and ardent watch collector, competed with fellow businessman James Ward Packard of Packard Motors to own the most intricate watch in the entire world. The Henry Graves Super Complication, commissioned from Patek Philippe in 1933, was so titled because it contained 24 intricacies, far more than the 10 complications of the watch that Packard had commissioned just 6 years prior. Among other horological features integrated within the distinctive gold pocket watch, the list of complications include a celestial map of New York, as viewed from Graves's Fifth Avenue apartment, Westminster chimes, a perpetual calendar, as well as dawn and sunset timings. The watch passed through multiple hands after Graves passed away in 1953. It was eventually put up for auction by Sotheby's in 1999, where Sheikh Saud bin Mohammed Al Thani of the Qatar royal family won it for a then record $11 million. Following his passing, Sotheby's held another auction in 2014, where the watch was purchased by an unidentified collector, setting the new record of $24 million. And in the top spot of the most expensive watches ever sold at auction is the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime reference 6300A010, which sold at Christie's in 2019 for an outstanding $31.19 million. In 2014, as part of the many festivities commemorating the 175th anniversary of the Genevan Maison, Patek Philippe launched the first Grandmaster Chime watch. It is the only Grandmaster Chime ever manufactured in stainless steel, as all other Grandmaster Chime models in Patek's regular collection are composed of precious metals. With no less than 20 complications displayed on 2 dials, one ebony black and the other salmon, for each side of the reversible swiveling case, with its intricate hobnail, guilloche pattern sides, this watch is the most complicated Patek Philippe wristwatch ever made. A perpetual calendar, moon phases, a grand and petite sonnerie, and 2 patented world premieres, an acoustic alarm that chimes at a pre-programmed hour, and a date repeater that strikes the date on demand, are among the cornucopia of complexity. All of the proceeds from the astounding, record-breaking, $31 million hammer price of the biennial only watch auction, in keeping with tradition, were donated to research into a possible treatment for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And there you have it, folks. The dazzling spectacle of the most expensive watches ever auctioned, each timepiece with a story as rich as its price tag. Did you ever imagine that Patek Philippe would dominate the list? Or did you think Rolex would hold the top spot? Did any of these timepieces exceed your expectations? Or perhaps, have you encountered other extraordinary watches in your own collection? Let us know in the comments. And if you've developed an insatiable appetite for all things luxury, make sure to stay tuned, because we've got more opulent content coming your way. From rare gems to limited editions, our journey into the world of extravagance is just beginning. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this horological adventure, and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when our next luxurious escapade unfolds. Thank you for joining us on this mesmerizing journey through time, and until our next rendezvous, may your watches always tick with precision, and your moments be filled with timeless elegance. Don't forget, if it ain't filthy, it's no good.